Like a lot of landscape photographers, I don't really live right next to my main subjects. And actually, I kind of live right here. And so I get asked a lot, how do you make that work? Well, over time, my answer to that question has changed quite a lot. What used to be, I travel all the time, and that's how I get the shots that I want, has now become, I try to make the most of what I have here. Tomorrow, I'm going out to shoot a sunrise, long exposure at a location that's really not too far away. I don't have to get up several hours early. I don't have to travel or stay in a hotel. Just a quick little drive from home. See you there. All right, well, I'm starting to get a bit of color in the sky, a little bit of light, you know, indirect light on the bluffs back here. And I think it's about time I set up my long exposure. Well, today's shot is going to be difficult, and not just because I'm walking on some very slippery moss-covered rocks, but also because I'm trying to expose for a sunrise that hasn't happened yet. So my plan today is to do maybe a 5, maybe a 7-minute long exposure, really smooth out this water. And I don't know that you can see it, but the clouds are actually pretty perfect because they're barely moving, but they're kind of leading away in a particular way. When I framed it up in my lens, I'm going to get this nice leading line kind of towards the bluffs there. So I got to get moving because sunrise is just in 12 minutes. So I got to do this now. F20, half a second. Now, bulb timer, and okay, I've got myself set up for a 8-minute long exposure, which started at half a second at F20 ISO 100. And adding the Lee 10-stop filter, that's going to hopefully work out to be a little overexposed for the sunlight that hits these bluffs. And I'm going to start now. All right, while that's beeping away, I guess I could have turned off the beep. Talk about what I want to talk about today, which is finding great locations to shoot landscape photos right where you live. So let's start, I guess, with an example. This is the Scarborough Bluffs, a city park within my city of Toronto. And I've come to this location a number of times. I think I photographed this location 6 or 7 times, and I keep coming back and I keep coming back to similar compositions, all for the same reason, which is that it's easy and I know it. So it's easy to get up in the morning, not really make a plan of exactly what my shot's going to be because I know exactly where I'm kind of thinking. It's easy to drive out. It's easy to walk over here from my car because it's close, it's at hand. Now, I've also been to a few exotic locations, maybe not too exotic, but I've been to Banff, I've been to Jasper, and those are really great. Oftentimes I was shooting a scene that I had never been to before, and I was scouting it using like Google Maps or something. And you get a really good impression of exactly what you sort of want to shoot, but you don't get anything different because the photos that you're looking at online are the shots that every professional has gotten. While the Bluffs has been captured by many professionals and by many amateurs, and I'm no different. I'm coming to the same location to shoot kind of a similar subject, you know, these sort of bluffs in the background. But I know this location. So, okay, what's my point here, right? Well, I think a lot of landscape photographers think that they need to go to these very exotic locations, that they need to go to Iceland, that they need to go to the Faroe Islands. And those are really beautiful. They're going to cost you thousands of dollars to get there. And what you come home with, they're going to be beautiful memories. But I bet you they're going to be the same photos that everyone else got, because you're going to go to the known locations that have things that you have seen online already. But I try to explore the types of scenes that I have around me. And yes, I'm going up to Algonquin Park a couple of times a year, and I'm going to these other beautiful locations to try to hike in the morning, maybe see a waterfall that I haven't seen before. I'm doing all those things, but they're not particularly exotic. Actually, they're really quite local. And I feel safe in doing that because I know that I'm going to get a shot that I like, whether it's this time or I just come back next week. So how do you go about finding locations that are close to where you live when the draw for these epic locations, you know, Iceland, Faroe Islands, all these other beautiful places is right there, and it's right in all the media that you consume? Well, for me personally, I start on Google. I start on Google Maps, and I start looking at, you know, the elevation map to see if there's any interesting things that I might be able to photograph that are kind of like mountains or cliffs or rocks, those types of things. And I start looking at the Google Street View to see what other people have kind of, you know, taken photos of already. But really I start to visualize exactly what it is that I think I might want and how I can have a connection to that scenery. And that drive for the connection of that scenery, that I'm showing off something that's kind of mine and local, really makes me feel very proud about the locations that I have that are close to me. So my shift is that I'm no longer thinking about how do I take this beautiful epic shot of a far away location, and instead take a beautiful and epic shot of something that's local to me, that when other photographers and other sort of viewers are looking at that photo, they want to come to where I'm at. All right, well, I've been talking for a little while. I'm at 5.5 minutes. You really only get one shot with this type of photo, and I think that makes it a little bit risky, because I think that there are lots of people who probably wouldn't take a shot like this if they're at an epic location, because you only get that one chance. Maybe I can't come back to that location for a sunrise on a different day, so I better capture it today. Maybe I don't have the best weather conditions. Maybe I've got really shit weather conditions and my shot's going to be ruined regardless, but this is the day that I'm there, so I got to do it. My point being, if you stay local, if you think about the places that are right around you that you can take photos of, you can continue to come back to them, and you can get something really beautiful through trial and error. Well, yeah, looks like it's going to take more than one shot, but I'm lucky that I had that opportunity. I think right after the shot, I'm probably going to pack it in. Thanks very much for watching. Bye for now.